this was the lovely picture that I made with that one, but that's not the point. We can start a new one. It's okay. So basically what I was supposed to be on vacation in lovely Montana, until, the 8th, and it is the 6th, I think. Long story short, my family disowned me and revealed themselves as like bigots against like who I am as a person, and basically their actions kind of just showed me how little they actually care about me. And when I first went to this, like, I initially wasn't going to go on this vacation because I was like, why would I spend time with people who fucking hate me that much? And then my grandmother died, and I was like, fuck, I gotta go because it's important to my mom, and I care about my mom's feelings. And, like, God damn it. So, like, basically, I, for months have been discussing with my therapist, like, how to really do this, and, go away, please. How to really go about doing this in a way that, like, keeps me safe, but, like, my mom can enjoy the trip because it means a lot to her. And so I was, like, treating it as a mandatory work retreat where it's like, kind of like, I really don't want to go on this fucking team building exercise, but, like, they did kind of put us up in really nice accommodations, so let's be on our best behavior and have a ball, or try to. And, for the first couple of days, I was fucking crushing it. Like, I would say jokes sometimes because, like, honestly, like, they were pretty tame and, like, no one was paying attention anyway. So it was kind of like, whatever, just say what you want. It's not like people are paying attention to what you're saying. And, like, when I was heard, I was shut down. However, coincidentally, when my nephew said the same thing I did, everyone laughed. And when I pointed that out, and my nephew admitted he was literally doing a Carlos Mencia and stealing jokes. Like, and I tried pointing out to him, like, I know you don't actually want to be doing that shit. Like, because I know you don't like making people feel bad, but, like, taking something a woman says and claiming it as your own is a problematic thing that you need to keep in mind. Like, because you don't want to be that guy. But instead of getting all that out, I got, it's problematic, to basically claim what a woman says as your own. And then my birth sister and her husband, like, freaked the fuck out and shut it down because I don't know. I assumed they thought it was, like, gonna go in a different direction, but, like, I don't know. The fact that, like, it's really weird. Like, my family conveniently forgets that, like, I have been working with children in, like, multiple capacities for, like, over a decade, so maybe sometimes I know how to say things, and you need to trust that, but, like, LOL. Those two are the perfect example of, like, the fact that going to a good school and getting a graduate degree doesn't actually make you smart. Fun fact. Higher education doesn't necessarily mean you're a smart person. It just means that you know a lot, maybe, about one specific thing, but you're generally just stupid and ignorant. Anyways, so, like, there was one point in the trip, like, this was kind of where it started to deteriorate a little bit, where, like, basically we got rained out of one of our activities, and my brother-in-law very graciously, I mean, he has kids and he didn't want to deal with them. We know this. Made reservations at this, like, I don't know, raptor, like, come see birds of prey on a leash sort of center. And he said, you know, we do need to make reservations. So, like, by show of hands, who wants to go? So, like, I raised my hand because I was like, I like birds. And so he said, okay, 2 children, 4 adults on the phone. And then, you know, when the time comes to show up to get picked up, there is only one van with 6 seats. And everyone got really confused and were debating back and forth what to do for, like, way too long. So finally, I just kind of was like, Jesus Christ, like, there is an easy way to figure this out. So I ran up the stairs to where the front desk was, and I just asked, hey, the guy who made this reservation, how many cars did he reserve? And she said he made a reservation for 6 people. So we sent 1 van to pick you up and 1 van to bring you back. And I said, okay, thank you for clarifying. And I go outside and, like, because they are a distance away, I project. And, like, my brother-in-law straight up, like, because all I said was, the front desk says we made a reservation for 6 people, so it is 1 van. And he jumps down my fucking throat, unexpected plot twist. And he's just like, you better change your tone with me. And that's when I was like, oh, it doesn't matter how you say things anymore. So I said, first of all, I'm literally trying to help clarify this situation. That's what the front desk said. And secondly, I'm not going to let some random man tone police me. I'm literally just trying to help. Which, like, of course, you know, he had a silent little mantrum. And then, you know, after that interaction, I literally just sort of was like, listen, I'm going to make this a fuck ton easier on you. And I just walked off and went to my room and, like, got in my bathing suit and spent a lovely day at the spa or the free part of the spa, which was a lovely hot tub with a rooftop view and a steam room. And let me tell you, I doused my hair in, like, conditioner, put a shower cap on, went into the steam room, like, forgot the shower cap was on, put on my clothes, went back to my room, realized the shower cap was still on, took a shower, and, like, it was delightful. I made the best out of a shitty situation, and I was like, you fucking crushed it, despite them being dumb. And, like, you made the right choice not going. So, like, you know, I said to myself, like, you good? And then my mom asked if I was coming to dinner, which I was like, oh, I didn't know I was invited. Okay. So I said, sure. Where and when? And they told me. And, you know, it's just sort of like, basically, we flew to Montana 4 days ago. At some point, we did a second leg in Montana, which, okay. And, like, no one told me we were flying. And I was like, you didn't think that was relevant information to tell someone who has panic attacks when they fly? Okay. Cool. And, like, you know, I do what I always do when I get on flights. I warn the flight attendants that, like, hey, like, this is a thing that does happen with me. So, like, if it does, because I can't speak when it does happen, like, this is how to deal with it. And, you know, they always appreciate the heads up, I find. And, like, you know, like clockwork, it happened. And my Deborah tried to shush me. And, you know, because I was in a panic attack and, like, you know, filters don't matter at that point. It's life or death. I shouted at her. I said, I'm not one of your fucking kids. Don't you dare shush me. And continued my panic attack. And then, like, the flight attendant who I had warned beforehand, like, you know, basically did exactly what I asked her to do, which was grab a cold compress, put it on the back of my neck, and, like, she graciously just kind of crouched down and put her hand on my shoulder and sat with me, and it was really nice. And then the panic attack was over, and then it turned into me hysterically sobbing for like, I'm not even kidding, hours, because I didn't realize that nobody had treated me or I hadn't felt that kind of compassion in a while. And the fact that it should have come from my birth family and it came from a random flight attendant was a lot to take in. So I decided on the second leg of the flight to Montana to do what helps me, which you are seeing right now, which is art therapy. So I was drawing in my book alone. I think I said one thing to my sister because she was trying to shush her kid. And I said, "Do you need help?" And my mom took it as a annoyance thing. And my mom was like, she's parenting her kid. Don't worry. And I said, "But is she though?" Because she keeps saying it and she keeps doing it. And God forbid you criticize someone that's not me in the family. And then when we got to Montana, and I had been telling my parents throughout the trip that I was having a break from reality and basically things that normal people would get concerned about, but not them. And we got to the cabin, and then I literally had just unzipped my bag, and then I overhear my mom softly talking in the living room, which is 30 feet away. And I just sort of stopped doing what I was doing and listened, because I felt like she's talking in a hushed tone for a reason. And she was literally talking to her flight agent, travel agent, and asking when the earliest what's happening? What happened? I don't know. Anyways, let me try to fix this, but while I do, done. Save to photos, I guess? I don't know. Okay, we're fine. Back to the thing. What was I talking about? Oh, I heard my mom in a hushed tone, asking when the earliest flight they could book for me to go home. She didn't talk about it with me. She just decided she didn't want to have to actually parent a child that she gave birth to. So, I was like, "Oh, is that the game we're playing?" So I walked out, and I pulled a full-on Real Housewives worthy meltdown of "You fucking bitch. You were going to do this behind my back? Fuck you. I'm glad I didn't actually unpack anything. I'm just going to zip up my bag again and go smoke in the front and take in the little nature that I can, because here's the thing. In Wyoming it was all group activities, but in Montana it wasn't. So the fact that she was ugh, I actually have to not even interact. I have to see this horrible piece of garbage every day. No, thank you. And she tried rationalizing it, being I was going to tell you afterwards and give you the option. And I, at that point I was yeah, I'm not indulging her anymore. I gave her a chance, and I said, bull fucking shit. If that was actually the case, you would have talked to me first and said something listen, I can see that this is a really hard time for you. Do you want me to send you home early? Because I want you to be happy. And if their treatment isn't making you happy, and I mean, she's made it clear that she refuses to advocate on my behalf, because why would she? She's only my birth mother. But I was just LOL, bullshit. And that's when I really told her, I said, listen, I was in an abusive marriage for 10 years. I didn't put up with gaslighting from that man. I'm sure as fuck not putting up with it from you. In fact, do you know why I stayed in an abusive relationship for over a decade? It's because I thought it was normal for people to treat me like shit. Like, I thought that behavior was, of course people treat me like that. I'm so difficult and a burden. And by the way, my birth mother did, try to pull that, like, I gave birth to you, crocodile tear bullshit. And I, because she said, like, what, can I have a hug? Because what if this is the last time I see you? And, because I'm like, listen, you obviously don't care about my feelings, so, like, here goes nothing. I basically was just like, listen, if this is the last time you see me, please remember this is all you're doing. I have given you so many chances, and you have declined to even try on any of them. So, like, this might be the last time we see each other. I don't know. But if it is, just keep in mind, this is your fault. For once, I 100% didn't cause this. And, like, sort of just kind of gave in to, like, the break from reality that had been sort of brewing. Because I was like, you know what? You can just, you don't need to take care, you don't need to, like, think about them anymore. Like, let's take care of you, because obviously, like, you are the main priority right now. And since technically I'm on vacation until the 8th, I was supposed to be, at least, I am treating until the 8th still as vacation. Like, and it's a Foxy-based vacation. Granted, I'm not going anywhere fun, but, like, at the same time, like, my mom constantly tells me that her fear is that, like, I'm going to push people away and be alone. And, like, I'm pretty sure I said this to her face. I don't know. Trauma brain is a thing. But, like, it's kind of like, how you always say your greatest fear is me being alone because I've pushed everyone away? The fact that I would choose to rather be alone than be treated like this, but then be surrounded by people like this and getting treated like garbage should say something to you. Like, I basically, like, sent a group message to the family therapist and my biological parents, and I just said, hey, doctor, family therapist, like, just to let you know, due to recent incidents, you're going to need to contact them and, like, figure out their goals for this, because honestly, I don't know what they are. And, what, depending on what their goals are, we will either continue this or we won't. Like, it's literally at the point where, like, the ball is in their court. 100%. I threw it over the fence. It's in there. It's in their yard. I can't, there's only so much I can do. And, like, my friend yesterday asked me, like, what do you think you're going to do now? Or what do you think is going to happen? And honestly, bitch, I've been asking myself that question. And the fact of the matter is, I don't know. Like, they could actually, like, my dad is actually trying, and I am telling him that. Like, I see you trying, and I appreciate it. But the fact is like, there is an equally strong chance that they will want to try to make this right. And there is also a strong chance that my mom is like, I have washed my hands of her. Which is, it's her choice. But at the same time, she can't, like, she kind of forfeited having a say in, like, honestly, she didn't really have a say in it to begin with because I'm a goddamn adult. But, like, financial abuse is a thing. So, like, if I posted something that, aired dirty laundry or made the family look bad, just as a way to process my feelings, not as a way to attack them, just as a, like, this is how I need to process this. Like, they would bully me and tell me to take it down and, like, it's inappropriate, blah, blah, blah. And I would give in to them, you know, because it was like, well, financial abuse, blah, 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 play the long game. And now I'm kind of like, oh, I can post whatever I want. And if they say anything, I can easily say with great confidence, you lost any say in what I post the second you disowned me. So, like, sorry, not sorry, deal with it. You know, I don't owe neurotypicals comfort. Like, maybe instead of me bending into pretzels to, like, make you guys feel good, like, I don't know, maybe you guys could at the very least, bend your elbow to try to accommodate me. Like, you know, I learned my lesson that asking to be treated like a human that they, like, cared about was too much to ask because, surprise, they never cared at all in the first place. Anyways, I think this is where I'm going to end this. I might work on this a little bit more later. I don't know. I really do like it, though. I don't know why. It feels like different colored fires. But, like, basically, I say this in the description, but I'm just going to say it again. I literally do this art therapy stuff because I know it works for me. I know it, when I was little, if I had come across something like this, maybe I wouldn't have felt like such an ugly duckling and I would have realized I was a pretty swan earlier. Yeah. So if you watch this, thank you so much. If you don't, maybe you will one day. I don't know. It's fine. Have a good one. Until next time, it's Foxy.